Once a year in the middle of May, all roads lead to Singapore, to the Singapore Turf Club at Kranji, for it is the Singapore Airlines International Cup and the Krisflyer Sprint. I'm Mohit Lalvani to bring you all the action. It was wet in the morning, but it's dried up and, well, plenty of action. It's been going on through the week, so let's find out where the colour's coming from. For Singapore, the biggest day of horse racing is the International Cup, sponsored by Singapore Airlines. The 2014 revival was on the 18th of May, and a host of top international superstars came from all over the world. Hong Kong sent last year's winner Military Attack, as well as the Golden Shaheen champion Sterling City. Pascal Barry, who won this a few years ago with Gloria de Campeao, sent out Smoking Sun, and even a challenger from the US, Sea Sage, made his way across to Singapore, as did the Japanese challenger Tokei Hello. The week building up to this race is all about networking, and the chill out party was the perfect icebreaker. A more formal event was held 3 days later at the Hilton Hotel, where the who's who from Singapore racing descended for what was an elegant and exquisite evening. Well, now the racing action in Singapore began on the Friday, 2 days before the two main races. We had a very good horse in Singapore running in what was the Singapore Guineas. The Singapore Guineas attracted a field of 10 for the final leg of the 3-year-old Triple Crown, and looking to sweep it was the Alwyn-Tan trained War Affair, who led the field on the cards. With Danny Beasley on board, War Affair was the rage of the market. Laurie Laxton had two in the race, Goodman and Daniel. Goodman, who had run second to War Affair last time out, had Corey Brown in the saddle, while Daniel had Saifuddin to bring him home after a disappointing performance in that very same race. The Takaoka's runner Room for Excuse had run a good race behind War Affair in the 3-year-old challenge, and with Alan Munro on board, was looking to do better with the 200 meters extra to travel. It wasn't long before the field was locked and loaded, and the starter set them away.
They're racing in the Guineas. War Affair the best of again. Lively Dragon through on the inside to take up the lead. And Goodman goes forward with Daniel on the outside. Marseille Roulette up to fourth, and War Affair just drops off the speed, and there's plenty of it with Lively Dragon flying out in the front. Room for Excuse over on the inside from Rise and Shine Blue Swede. Then Perfect Challenger, and last of all is Bogart. They run down the back, 1,200 metres to go, and Lively Dragon is out by 7 lengths over Goodman in second. 2 lengths away in the field to Daniel. Down on the inside of Marseille Roulette. Then came War Affair travelling strongly in fifth, about 10 from the leader, who's flying along in the lead. Room for Excuse over on the inside. Rise and Shine is next of all, followed by Perfect Challenger. Then came Blue Sweet, and last of all is Bogart. Down before the final 700 metres they go, and Lively Dragon coming back to the field very quickly as they come to the top of the straight. Goodman around the outside of it with Marseille Roulette. They were followed by Daniel near the top of the straight. Beasley about to stoke up War Affair as they come to the top of the lane. Then came Room for Excuse. Rise and Shine trying to get onto the back of War Affair as they straighten up. Below the final 450, Goodman is the leader. War Affair, Daniel come after him now, but War Affair went straight past Goodman at the 300 metres. War Affair gets out by 2 over Goodman. Daniela, Rise and Shine down the outside, 200 metres to go in the Guineas, and War Affair explodes away. He's got this one wrapped up. He dashes out by 5 lengths over Goodman. Down the outside, Daniel, but a big performance by War Affair. The champion 3-year-old does it easily. 4 lengths on the wire over Daniel. 3rd in was Goodman. 4th will go the way.
He's a wonderful horse based on his timing. I think the longer he will be better. And I think I have to thank all of them as the team. In fact, it's not easy, a lot of planning, you know, and I believe the team is very important. Everyone doing a part from the team. So far, I don't have anything, but I still need to go back to look at the program and plan together.
His whole preparation, he's been faultless. He's like been nearly first from the gate, and he just does what I want him to do. Like, you've seen him in the sprint. He took up a position mid-race when I asked him to go forward. The other day worked out perfect, and today it was just perfect again. As I said, there, like after 200, 400 metres, I was getting goosebumps already. You know, he's like, and that's the feel he gives you. He's just a bit different class, this fella.
He certainly is, and you know, the pace was ideal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely perfect. It was like, you know, we obviously had the horse go out hard in front, but then where Goodman settled, and Daniel behind him, and Marcel Roulette, I was extremely happy with those horses in front of me, because you know that they were going to take you a fair way. But I was still at the front a bit early, but it's just him. As soon as you move up a gear, he's just away and go, and you just let him go, and he's pretty special.
That's right. What's he like in this, you know, when he's at full stretch? What's the feeling like?
When he quickens, it's like he just really goes, you know, and as I said, there's nothing that goes as quick as him. He can work in the morning, he can go 3 furlongs with El Padrino and run 33 seconds, and then you can go like a week later, go like 2 laps, go 1200 evens, and he just works around in your hand, and he's just been a pleasure to work with. And as I said, congratulations to Elvin and Jason and Joe and all the boys. They've done a remarkable job.
And you've ridden some very good horses. Where does he sit in your heart?
Oh, Singapore on top. Grand Army was my favourite. He was just a super horse, and Victory Vane was the best filly I've ever rode, and she was very special. But as far as Singapore-based horses go, this fella's by far and away on top.
War Affair is a son of O'Reilly and looks to be one of the most exciting prospects to come out of Singapore in many years. Well, in War Affair, hopefully we'll see him in next year's Singapore Airlines International Cup. I can tell you he's a true talent coming out of Singapore. We'll take a short break on that note and come back with our 2 main races. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. The crowd's waiting with anticipation as we head to the parade ring for our first Group 1 race. It is the Krisflyer International Sprint. Let's get straight over to the action. The first international race was the International Group 1 Krisflyer International Sprint over 1200 meters on the short course A. With total prize money of $1 million Singapore dollars, a field of 10 made it to declaration stage. The Thursday before the race was the post position draw, and in a 1200 meter race, especially at Kranji, an inside draw could only be of great benefit. The final field was number 1 Lucky 9 drawn 2, number 2 Sterling City drawn 10, number 3 Captain Obvious drawn 8, number 4 Zach Spirit drawn 3, number 5 El Padrino drawn 7, number 6 Goalkeeper 6, number 7 Belmont Mast 9, number 8 Medician Man 1, number 9 Emperor Max 5, and number 10 Slew of Load was in draw number 4. The Singapore Turf Club authorities provided some special entertainment at the post position draw as well, bringing a predictor in the form of a live hamster who initially seemed a bit confused. On what was a rainy day on the Sunday, the 10 entered the parade ring where jockeys got their final instructions. Lucky 9, who had won this race last year, had run second on the 27th of April in Hong Kong to Charles the Great and was one of the top choices here in the market. The Sterling City, also from Hong Kong, was from John Moore's yard and had Joe Moreira on his back. The winner of the Golden Shaheen was one who was expected to trouble Lucky 9 most of all. Captain Obvious and El Padrino from Alvin Town's yard had Oscar Chavez and Danny Beasley in the saddle respectively. A tall order for both here, but as the saying goes, if you're not in it, you can't win it. The local contender who was expected to run a very big race was the Cliff Brown trained Zach Spirit, who had Alan Monroe on his back. Unbeaten in his last 4 starts, this was a horse who was expected to raise Singapore's flag high. Zach Spirit had beaten the Stephen Gray trained Emperor Max on his last 2 starts, and Emperor Max this time had the switch of jockey from Lisa Allpress to Zach Purton. The field was rounded off with the local contenders Goalkeeper from Theo Kiza's yard and Slew Load from Pat Shaw's stable. The international contenders were rounded off by Balmont Mast, who was trained by Edward Lynham and ridden by Colm O'Donoghue, and the British-based Medicean Man, who had run 4th in the Ulcos on World Cup night in Dubai. It wasn't long before the horses left the starting gate and were loaded and ready to go.
Looking across the line, gates back, racing into Krisflyer. Captain Obvious burst out of the gates, went to the front over Zach Spirit. Lucky 9 commenced beautifully over on the inside. Emperor Max is zooming up on the outer, followed by Sterling City getting across to be 3 off early on from Goalkeeper, Slew of Load, Belmont Mast, and a gap away to El Padrino. Turning off the back now, 800 metres to go. Captain Obvious led. Emperor Max quickly up to second. Lucky 9, the run of the race over on the fence, joined by Zach Spirit. Then came next of all Goalkeeper, Sterling City, and they hum along here. Slew of Load over on the inside of Belmont Mast, and 4 lengths away to El Padrino as they come to the top of the straight. 500 metres to go in the Krisflyer. The grey Captain Obvious led over Emperor Max. Lucky 9 over on the inside, sweating on a run. Zach Spirit makes his move around the outside, looms into it quickly, followed by Sterling City, who needs to pick up. Emperor Max the leader. Lucky 9, Zach Spirit come after Emperor Max. Lucky 9 gets the first run on them. Lucky 9 went to the lead over Emperor Max. Zach Spirit tries, but tries in vain. Lucky 9 races away in the Krisflyer, back to back into history. Lucky 9 for Preble and Founds takes it out by 3. Second, Emperor Max. Third in Zach Spirit. Fourth is tied between Captain Obvious and also Sterling City. Then came next in El Padrino, well back Slew of Load.
A real pleasure to train this horse, and it's been really thrilling to get my 3rd win in this race. But this horse has had a lot of fun for the stable, and we're all proud of him. He's been in great form, even though he's 7. I don't tell him, I tell him he's a 4-year-old, so he listens. Well, he's got a lot of heart, and that's what you need in a good horse. And he adjusts to the environment quite easily, and he's just a good traveller. He's like one of us. He likes to get out of Hong Kong and then get back home.
Let's just go through the race. It just worked out perfectly out in front for you, didn't it?
Yeah, well, just enough speed. Didn't go too fast, didn't drag him out, and he's a bit timid now, you know, obviously inside. He's getting a bit old and a bit has his quirks, but when I got him back on the bridle at 700, it was a matter of when I wanted to press it and win the race, basically, and that's the sort of horse he is. He's better than these horses, and he's an absolute pleasure to ride, and very privileged to ride him.
Lovely, you've had a lovely relationship with him, and now when you've gone, you are aware you're going to win, aren't you?
I was aware, I knew at the 600 I was going to win, but you know, you just obviously everything's going to run perfect, and also got to be, you know, everything, don't miss a beat going to the line, but the power I have underneath you is a good feeling.
Lucky 9 at the age of 7 seems to be getting better with age like fine wine. He is a son of Dubawi, one of the world's leading stallions, and is the first horse to ever win this race back-to-back. Well, tremendous result there. Lucky 9 back-to-back winner. The first time ever in the history of this race. We'll take a short break. Come right back, countdown to the big one, the Singapore Airlines International Cup. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. The moment of truth is before us. The horses are in the parade ring for the Singapore Airlines International Cup 2014. Let's go over and see who looks the part. The post position draw for this one followed that of the Krisflyer Sprint, and though over 2,000 meters, it probably wasn't as important, any advantage for a race this competitive would be taken smilingly. The final card was number 1 Military Attack drawn 10, number 2 Dan XL drawn 1, number 3 Tokay Halo drawn 9, 4 Johnny Guitar drawn 6, 5 Side Glance 7, 6 Muller Kilo 3, 7 Smoking Sun 11, 8 Limario 12, 9 Wild Geese 2, 10 City Lad 8, 11 Trapias 5, and 12 Sea Sage 4. For this one, the hamster seemed less confused. The 2014 revival of the International Group 1 Singapore Airlines International Cup attracted a total field of 12. Led by last year's winner Military Attack, he was one of the 2 John Moore horses in the field. Military Attack had failed to handle the Tapita in the Dubai World Cup, but bounced back to form in the Group 1 Audemars Piguet Queen Elizabeth II Cup on the 27th of April. His stablemate Dan XL had run 2 weeks ago, finishing 3rd in the Champions Mile. While Military Attack would have champion rider Joe Moreira in the saddle, Dan XL had the services of Tommy Berry on board. The local contingent's strongest representatives looked to be Johnny Guitar from Pat Shaw's stable and Wild Geese from Steve Burridge's yard. The two had run 1st and 2nd in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup in Singapore, with Wild Geese finishing 1st from a late-running Johnny Guitar. Johnny Guitar would have the services of Baron Voster, while Wild Geese had Harry Cassim in the saddle. In a race that was extremely open this year, Mull of Kilo was coming into this race with a victory in the Earl of Sefton Stakes over 1800 meters. Ridden by Damien Oliver, who is regarded as one of Australia's best jockeys, Mull of Kilo was probably coming into this race with the best form of his career so far. The other English challenger was Side Glance from Andrew Balding's stable. Side Glance had run 4th in the Dubai World Cup, about 8 lengths behind the winner African Story, and a couple of lengths on that would find him right in the thick of things. Pascal Barry, who knows how to win this race and who had done so with Gloria de Campio, saddled Smoking Sun. Smoking Sun had won the Prix de Harcourt before running 4th in the Prix Gannet in April before shipping across to Singapore. Tokay Halo from Japan was the winner of 4 black type races last year, all over 2,000 meters. He had travelled to Hong Kong in December last year, where he had just been edged out by local superstar Akid Mafed in the Group 1 Longines Hong Kong Cup over 2,000 meters as well. While he had to reproduce that form in 2014, he was expected to improve from his 7th in the Dubai Duty Free on the 29th of March. The field was rounded off by the local contenders Trapias from Michael Friedman's stable and City Lad from Desmond Coe's yard. With the rain likely to help the former, it wasn't long before the horses left the parade ring and made their way to the start.
Gates are back, racing in the Cup. Wild Geese got a great start from the inside. Dan XL not so. He's being hard ridden on the inside, but from the inside advantage will be forwarder. Tokay Halo for Japan is coming up on the outside. Johnny Guitar just off them. Limario and Trapeus has got a lovely spot over on the inside. They were followed by Military Attack just off them. Malakalok was next from Sea Sage. Then came Smoking Sun as they leave the straight from City Ladder. And back to the rear went Side Glance. They work up the side now towards the final 1,500 metres, and Tokay Halo, as expected, went to the lead. Wild Geese in second. Dan XL over on the inside, and they're not going at a breakneck pace. Up on the outside a little wide is Limario, followed by Johnny Guitar down on the fence. Then Military Attack, who's got into a great position. He's one off the fence, covering up Trapeus. Then Malakalok over on the rails from the American Sea Sage. A length and a half away to Smoking Sun. City Lad the inside, and back at the rear is Side Glance. They come to the halfway marker, 1,000 metres to go, and Tokay Halo given a little bit more rain, raced away by 4 lengths over Dan XL. Wild Geese the outside, Johnny Guitar down on the fence ahead of Limario, then Military Attack, Joe biding his time on the favourite. The inside is Trapeus, Malakalok, Sea Sage about to go for Flores, trying to get onto his back is Smoking Sun, then City Lad, and Side Glance needs to come from last to win the Cup as they come to the top of the straight. 600 metres to go. Tokay Halo shows the way. away. Dan Excel easing off the fence to come after him. Wild Geese gave it away. Around the outside, beginning to run into it was Lamario, followed by Military Attack. Trapeus, Johnny Guitar. Sea Sage for America runs into it quite well. It's Tokay Halo at the 300. Dan Excel goes up to eyeball him. Military Attack, a little one pace trying to get there. Down the outside is Smoking Sun, but Dan Excel races away for Tommy Berry. Inside the final furlong, Dan Excel has got them. Military Attack and Smoking Sun run on hard, but Dan Excel takes out the Singapore Airlines International Cup. Smoking Sun second. Military Attack third from Tokay Halo. Next in was Side Glance, followed by Sea Sage, Monocolok, a gap to Lamario, Johnny Guitar, then City Lad, Wild Geese.
Well, it was ridden to perfection by Tommy. He jumped, he got into the box seat where I wanted him to be. He said when he went out of the straight, he thought that he was on a horse that was, that was going to be hard to beat. So from that point of view, congratulations to Tommy. He's been through a lot of tough times, and to do it and win today, the big one in Singapore, my number one hunting ground, it's just amazing.
Very emotional. Obviously, this was the last place Nathan was before he passed, and he really enjoyed the racing here. And it's quite funny actually. There was a beautiful big butterfly that landed at my feet in the mounting yard and hung around there for a bit just before I got on. And then the same butterfly, well, whether it was the same, looked the same, but was flying around me in the gates. So he was here today. Yeah, I've watched him for a long time and always been hoping to get on his back, but only took the last start. And he was 4 wide, no cover the whole way the other day, and still toughed it out, finished third. And a bit worried I wasn't going to get the ride back, but I begged John and he said that I was already booked for it. So very thankful to John and the owners for giving me the opportunity. And the first time, he's not a young horse, this bloke, but it's the first time with the winkers, so full credit to John for whacking them on and sharpening him up a little bit. And he raced like a good horse he is.
The 200, did you ever look behind your shoulder? Because you were the one you wanted to be on, nothing was catching you.
Yeah, that big screen's pretty good. You can have a look at that a few times, and I just let him cruise the last bit and he came back to me nice. But probably one of the most special wins of my career, and I'll never forget it. And I've got to thank everyone here in Singapore. They were great to Nathan whilst he was here, and like I said, he enjoyed his time here. And thank you everyone for all of your support over here since his passing. And I know one thing, you'll never be forgotten.
That's certainly true, Tommy, but your efforts here and the thoughts of everyone are with your family, but you're just great ambassadors for racing, and the whole racing world supports you, which must be extra special for you to know you've got that support.
Yeah, look, we've been taught at a young age to always, respect the game and try and promote it as much as we can and get young people into it. And we're only young ourselves, but we do our best for the sport and try and promote it the best we can. And I believe Nathan did that to the best of his ability before he passed. And I'm glad that I can carry him with me on my shoulder everywhere I go.
Well, I don't think it's quite sunk in yet that the euphoria of winning an international Group 1 race, especially in Singapore, because Singapore is one of my favourite cities in the world. And the great thing is that Hong Kong has won it again. And what can I say about my horse? He broke the track record in Singapore tonight. So all credit to the horse, to the trainer and to the jockey, and it's still not sunk in yet, so ask me again tomorrow.
We will do that, but I'm going to ask you one more time. When they were coming up the straight and he made his challenge, what were you thinking?
Well, actually, I couldn't really watch, and I was listening to my wife, who was singing, "Come on, Dan, come on, Dan," and she was hitting my leg harder and harder, so I knew he was coming forward, and I finally looked, and he was already a length clear. So it was just the most amazing feeling that you could imagine. To win he's won a Group 1 international race in Hong Kong, but to win in another country for Hong Kong is just really amazing. So,
how are you going to celebrate tonight?
Well, I think tonight there's not going to be much sleep, and we'll be partying in Singapore's best bars tonight. Yeah. And thank you very much for Singapore Turf Club for putting on this wonderful event. It's been a great night, and I can only say thank you to all of Singapore, and wonderful that Hong Kong's won again.
And I believe it's your son's birthday?
It's my son's birthday, and Dan Excel is named after my son Daniel. It's his 23rd birthday today, and it was going to be a day when Daniel celebrated his birthday with his namesake winning the Singapore International Airlines Cup in Singapore.
For Dan Excel, this was a dream come true. A second last year in this race and a recent third in the Champions Mile in Hong Kong showed that the son of Shamadal is amongst the most consistent performers anywhere in Asia. Well, and to the victor belong the spoils. What a super evening it's been here at the Singapore Turf Club at Kranji. I'm Mohit Lalwani, thanking you for joining me. we leave you with winning pictures from a horse called Dan Excel.
Dan Excel takes out the Singapore Airlines International Cup.